For Dragging the Line, I'm One More Sanchez, and joining me now on Zoom is YouTube boxing champion in the making, Rojai, who is on a mission to fight another YouTuber, Joe Morris, aka JMX, with a record of 3-0. Welcome to the show.
I feel welcome already.
Hey man, so real quick for the listeners who don't know, let us know why you want to box JMX.
Because I'm tired of seeing the mismatches. His first YouTube boxing match was against a dude that weighed 170 pounds, and this dude is a heavyweight, 6'5", 210 pounds. So how that fight even gets sanctioned? And the second event was against a bodybuilder who was 190 pounds, who had no skill. And I had a commentator say the dude had 2 weeks training, 2 weeks. So I sitting here like, yo, and he called out another bodybuilder when I sitting here with all of these skills and I know I could take him out in like 3 rounds or less. Come on.
So basically he's just calling out people who don't have background, calling himself a boxer.
Exactly. Shorter people with no skill and no type of advantage. 190 pounds versus, come on, dog. That's 2 different weight classes.
Anybody in boxing knows that. How long have you been boxing?
Couple months. I've been training for a couple months, just getting my skills sharp for when I get this fight, because I do believe I'm going to get the fight, and it's been staying focused. I know what I got to do. I got the perfect plan in my head on how I'm going to take him out. You saw it. The dude is glass. He is a walking glass, man. You touch him, he break. When I touch him, he's going to break.
Now, why do you think YouTube boxers play a huge role today in the sport of boxing?
Boxing always been about how could the people in the suits make money from getting 2 guys to lace it up. So when KSI decided to beef with Joe Weller, it became super profitable in the UK, one of the highest grossing amateur events. I wasn't hating on it. I watched it. I was a huge fan. I thought Joe was going to win. That's just a little bit of bias, but I thought Joe was going to win. But it was all about the success of the YouTube boxing, and I think it here to stay. I truly does. I truly do. I think it here to stay.
You bring up a good point. Now, Mike Tyson said it best. The sport of boxing was dying. YouTube brought that sport back, brought the sport's attention. And at the end of the day, it's numbers. You know, these are people who got 24 million followers. You're right. It's here to stay. If you can get these matches to be fair, then it's a different ballgame.
From this YouTube boxing event, here's what happened. There's YouTube boxing fans and there's traditional boxing fans. In my opinion, I think YouTube boxing needs to stay YouTube boxing and boxing needs to stay boxing. Remember with KSI and Logan Paul, they had Devin Haney on the card. I was like, what the hell that is? Because you putting a dude of that caliber on the undercard of Logan Paul and KSI, I don't think that was a good idea. I think they should have put YouTubers on that card so you could have had the YouTube boxing fan base, which there is. There's 2 different boxing fan base, and I truly believe that they need to be separated.
So would you say the likes of Paul calling out Floyd Mayweather, it's laughable?
The result of the fight laughable for sure. The money gonna show that it's a profitable fight. Like
Money Mayweather, do you think he's laughing at it? Like,
of course, he robbing the bank again. He did it with Conor. He doing it with Logan, and he gonna do it with Jake because they have the narrow. They got the money. He is robbing that bank. He gonna walk away with a good 8-9 figures and go about his business. There's no threat.
People will say that Floyd Mayweather is the best in boxing. I disagree. I say he's the best in marketing himself and making that money. There you go. Yeah, I would agree. Best businessman, best marketer.
There's fighters I believe would beat Floyd. That's just historically speaking. I think Hearns is his worst matchup in life. But
in preparation for this fight, could you walk us through a day of training?
I keep it old school. I do a lot of running, and for strength, I have a resistance band that I do curls with, stretches with, pulls with, stuff like that. The goal is for me keeping it simple with the running and the resistance band.
Worst case scenario, if JMX doesn't answer, ignores you, doesn't want to accept the challenge, are there any alternatives?
One other dude, his name is Victor Drago. He actually fought Logan Paul a while back. I wouldn't mind fighting him on the Floyd versus Logan undercard. That kind of have a little connection there, so it's not too crazy out of the realm to happen. So if JMX decides to duck fight, I'll try to get Victor.
What means of social media are you using to get his attention?
Okay, mainly I use Instagram. I use YouTube. I comment under fight me, and it's usually don't respond.
Yeah.
I just doing that every day until I get something.
There you go. Now, where can the listeners follow you online?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram at the real Rojai. You could find me on Twitter, same Twitter. Yeah, Twitter and Instagram. Yeah.
So in the preparation of the fight, what would be your prediction? Death?
Death.
Just go all out? Leave it all in the ring?
Okay, you gotta look at it from the grand scheme of things. Nobody know who I really am compared to every other YouTube boxer. So if I go out there and underperform, I have to start. I have to show up and show out.
When is the fight taking place in the undercard? Like
crazy, nothing is announced yet, but I've heard that Adam Sala and Slim are having a boxing event in May, and Triller is also announcing a boxing. May is the perfect time because all these boxing events are being announced for May. So I'm trying to get his attention at least by late April. I need his attention because at the end of the day, I don't want to see him fight another mismatch while I here actually calling for him.
So it's about 2 months away.
I think the best way to get his attention is this dude called Neil Ryan on Instagram. He has this thing called the Bread Batch, and everybody in the YouTube boxing scene looks at what he has going on. So if I could get his attention and tell him I want to fight JMX, more than likely JMX gonna see it.
What song would you walk into when you fight JMX?
What song would I walk into? That's a good question. I walk into something like hard though. I need something strong. I probably go with the 90s underground. I need something to shake the place up.
Some gangster shit, maybe like a DMX or Wu-Tang. What is a great boxing match that comes to mind when you think of a good boxing match that you look at or you look at for training or just motivation? Is there one that sticks out to you?
Hagler Hearns, dog.
That's a good one. Now, I know that you've been training, you've been hit hard. What keeps you motivated? When you feel that hit or when you step in that ring, what's the rush or what goes through your mind when you box?
You know, when it comes to training, I always say I don't mind looking stupid, looking bad in training because fight night, I'm going to be ready. So you could knock me out in training, you could knock me down in training, but at the end of the day, I'm going to get back up and I'm going to be in that ring ready to fight who I got to fight.
Now, are you doing a sparring other than the training that you're doing right now?
No, it's strictly strength and conditioning. I'll be sparring roughly a month or two out from the fight whenever I could get it.
And that's usually what happens. Boxers train about 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, was there anything that I didn't ask quickly that you wanted the people to know?
I just want people to know that I need y'all. It's up to y'all to get me this fight through our hard work and calling them out, applying the pressure. Just tell them this: JMX fight Rojai, and the fight will be mine. And when I get that fight, it's all over. It's all over for him. So I just want the fans.
Now, would you do it for free?
The plan is to get the fight and what comes after. I know after that fight, it's all over. I don't care. I need that fight though.
Is there any boxing social media like on Instagram that we could tag them and get their attention?
Like I say, it's this thing called the Bread Batch. They talk about YouTube boxing all the time. So just spam their DM, spam their comment section, email them like crazy. Let's see if we can get going. They can't ignore us if we don't stop, dog.
All right. If JMX is listening, what do you want to tell him?
You gotta die, bro. And it's no hard feelings, but I need you to fight me. And after what I do to you in the ring, just know that I never really hated you. You was just what I needed to get the ball rolling. So it's nothing personal, dog. But I will kill you in that ring. All I gotta say is thank you for this experience. I'm looking forward to many interviews in the future after I beat him and such like that. But I just was happy to be here, dog. This was a great experience.
Yeah, man. I kept it short because to get someone's attention, we couldn't have a 30-minute conversation.
Straight to the point.
There you go.
Thank you.
Hey, man, you have a good night. We'll talk soon, okay?
Of course.
All right, take care.